to order. We do have the proper number of commissioners and judge here. We have a quorum. And so with that, I'm going to ask Pastor Linda Lewis from the Old Mount Olive Baptist Church to please pray for us. We've already talked about we need it, so please.
I won't call names.
Yeah, but do, if you don't mind, say something for the victims in the south part of the county today too,
Yes,
if you would.
yes, because I wanted to really do that. I thank you for
Good.
the opportunity. I'd like to say good morning to everyone, and thank you for the job that you do. Amen. So I wanted to say that we definitely want to be in prayer for the people in the south part of our county. It was a tragic, and every time you go through, it's just like it's happening all over. Even though we could be thankful that Gainesville here, our little town wasn't hit, but it could have been. But we have to be mindful of the ones who was affected and will be affected, lives that was lost. You know, it was really heartbreaking, looking and watching things and not knowing that you can't do anything about it. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. If we can bow our heads for a word of prayer. Oh, gracious Master, thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day, God. In spite of everything, God, you have been so good. You have been so merciful. You have been so grateful. So I have to take this opportunity and this time to thank you, God, for all that you have done, all that you're going to do. And right now, God, asking a special blessing upon the south part of our county, oh God, that was affected by the tornado, the lives that were lost, the lives that was affected, the ones that are still alive and still having a deal, God. We know that you are yet in control. And God, we thank you for the entire community, the entire county coming together to do what they can do and being in support. And Lord God, as this meeting of the commissioner go forth, oh God, asking you to just bless them, bless our judge and bless the entire panel, oh God, that you would give them what they need, oh God, to continue to lead and direct our county, oh God, as a team, oh God. Help us, oh God, to be able to come together in areas, looking beyond each other's fault, knowing how to agree to disagree or to agree to disagree, oh God. We thank you, oh God. We're asking you for protection upon our county, oh God, and protection upon everyone that's in this courthouse, oh God, that you keep a shield of protection about them. Thank you for the works, the jobs that they do, oh God. You continue to bless, Lord God, like never before. And everyone that's coming today, for whatever reason they're bringing things to the commissioner court, oh God, we're asking, oh God, that there be understanding, there be humility, and oh God, there be guidance, oh God, that they all can come together and work together. And God, I just thank you right now for all that you've done and what you're going to do. In your name, Christ Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Lewis. You're welcome to stay with us today if you'd like to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Commissioner Snuds.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Once again, thank everybody for being here today. Do we have any public, has anybody signed up for comments on agenda items? Okay. Item number 6 is the consent agenda, and the consent agenda includes non-controversial and routine items that the court may act on with one single vote. The judge or a commissioner may pull any item from the consent agenda in order that the court discuss and act upon it individually as part of the regular agenda.
Anybody have anything? Good. Move to approve. Second.
Commissioner Hollowell, and make a motion to approve the consent agenda, second by Commissioner Snuggs. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. The consent agenda passes 5-0. Item number 7, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the treasurer's monthly report for April 2024.
Motion to approve.
Motion Commissioner Snuggs to approve.
Second.
Second Commissioner Arndt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item 7 passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Item number 8, presentation by the SBA, Small Business Association, regarding disaster assistance information and possible action for the same. And if you would identify yourself for the record here and proceed.
Yes. Good morning. My name is Javier Caltenco. I'm a Public Information Officer with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. And yes, we are here. We're providing disaster assistance. In this case, Cooke County is included in the declaration for the severe storms, straight-line winds, tornadoes, and flooding that happened back in April 25th through June 5th. So the Small Business Administration is focused on the long-term recovery. So we are providing low-interest federal disaster loans to businesses of all sizes, most private nonprofit organizations, homeowners, and renters. We have 2 different loans for the businesses. One is for physical damages. So if they had damages to their property, supplies, inventory, machinery, etc., they can apply for this loan. There's a limit of $2 million. We also have the economic injury disaster loan, which is for the smaller businesses. We want to make sure that if they're suffering economically, that they have the means of making those payments. So if they're in need of paying their water, electricity, rent, even payroll, they can use this loan for that. Maybe I'm too close. Yes, and there is also a limit of $2 million. It could be a combination of the two, up to $2 million as well. For the homeowners, we have a limit of $100,000 to repair or replace their primary residence. If they have a secondary home, they can also, as long as they're using it as a business or as a rental, they can also apply for the loan as a business. For homeowners and renters, we have up to $100,000 to replace any personal property they lost. It could be furniture, appliances, even a personal vehicle. As I mentioned, these are loans, so therefore they do have to get paid back. So right now, the interest rates that we have is as low as 2.688%. Sorry, 2.688% for homeowners and renters, as low as 4% for businesses, and 3.25% for nonprofit organizations. They can be repaid back in the terms of up to 30 years. For the first 12 months, they don't have to make any payments. For the first 12 months, it's 0% interest rate, so therefore there's no interest accumulated during those 12 months. Once they've been approved, they have 6 months to decide whether they want the loan or not, so it's not obligatory for them to take the loan if they applied and they've been approved. And we do have some deadlines that we want to make sure that they apply before. Right now, the deadline is July 16th for any physical damages, and for the economic injury is February 18, 2025. We also want to make sure that some individuals may qualify for relocation, and some individuals may also qualify for refinance. they have to meet some certain criteria, but that's also available for survivors. And we also want to make sure that once those who were affected and they need to rebuild, that they can rebuild more resilient. So therefore, we also are offering a 20% additional of the verifiable losses for mitigation improvements. So it doesn't have to be for a specific natural disaster. It could be for any natural disaster. And that's, for example, if they had $100,000 in damages, they can use $20,000 additional for mitigation towards any natural disaster. That's all we have. Actually, I just want to mention another thing is we do have a disaster recovery center where FEMA and the Small Business Administration representatives are there to help the community. And we do not have a date as to when we're going to be closing. It will be there until the needs are met. And it's at the Valley View Elementary School, and right now it's open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to
Is that
answer.
the only way they can go there, or is there a contact number?
Yes, okay, so the survivors can go to any disaster recovery center. They can also apply online. They could go to lending.sba.gov,
Okay.
or they can also call our 800 number, but they will not be able to apply. They can just get information.
Okay, so lending,
lending.sba.gov.
okay.
Do we have all the information that we need in case somebody needs to contact? And what was the deadline that you mentioned? Or
Yes.
deadlines that you mentioned?
Yes, so we have two deadlines. One is for physical damages, which is July 16th, and for the economic injury disaster loan is going to be February 18, 2025.
Okay.
Okay?
So for physical damages, we've only got 3 weeks or less.
Yes, there's a possibility that it can be extended. That's going to be depending on whether the state has requested an extension, and FEMA will make that decision.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Great.
You said the first year there was no interest on it, right?
Yes, the first 12 months they don't have to make they don't have to make any payments, and it's 0% interest rate for the first 12 months.
And if they pay it off at the end of 12 months, or that's it?
Exactly. They don't owe anything. Yes. And yes, our program is mainly geared towards the uninsured and underinsured, but we also recommend those who have insurance to also apply with SBA, because there's a possibility that once they know how much the insurance is going to cover, if they don't cover 100%, they can still use the SBA loan for the difference, the uninsured or the undercovered part, or even for the I don't want to say down payment. No, it's not down payment. Sorry, is the sorry. Deductible. Yes, sorry. Yes, so they can use it towards the deductible as well.
Any other questions?
No. Well, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Item number 8 was a presentation, no action. Item number 9, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of the disaster and/or storm debris removal and disposal specifications to be opened on July 17th, 2024. Shelley, do you have anything on that? Ray is,
They're ready to go. No, just gotta approve them.
say again?
They're ready to go. All you need to do is approve them.
Okay. Any questions on item number 9?
I'm just looking over one last time here.
This is a document we were able to plagiarize, was it not, Shelley, from somewhere else? We had some-
Well,
I make a motion, we approve the disaster and storm debris removal and disposable specifications to be opened on July 17th, 2024.
We have a motion, Commissioner Snuggs, to approve item number 9.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Arndt. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Item number 9 passes 5-0. Item number 10, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval. Say again?
Can we hold up just one
Sure.
second? Shelley, the best way for people to get that packet, come by your office, or will they be able to print it offline or
It's
anything?
gonna be online and I can email it to them or
Okay,
come by the office.
okay, I'll get that
To
word out.
circulate that, did TDM, surely they've got some contractors that's done this before that might bid on this for us? Because locally, we run in the paper, I don't know what kind of response we're gonna get.
I've had a lot of local people call me, and I just told them when it was available, I'd let everybody know.
But are they in the business and bonded to
Yeah.
this degree?
Don't know about that, but they are in the business.
Yeah, I've got some too, that have showed interest.
I mean, that's a good thing, but,
Yeah.
I mean, I just wasn't sure that anybody in Cook County right now
I'm
could
sure
meet the
that they're-
criteria that's doing it on this scale.
Yeah, I'm sure there's large companies that are sitting around waiting to see these bids go out. All right, Judge.
All right, item number 10, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of the debris monitoring service specifications to be opened on July 17th.
Motion to approve that one as well.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Snuggs.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Arndt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item 10 passes 5-0. Item number 11, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the emergency disaster declaration and all associated executive orders.
I don't have anything right now. Everything's just kind of depending on getting these bids in right now on our end.
Right. Anybody have anything on that?
I don't.
Item number 11 is no action. Item number 12, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of final plat for Kirkpatrick Acres, a proposed 5-lot development on County Road 194 and 147, Cooke County, Texas. Commissioner Hollowell.
That is, as it says, a 5-lot subdivision, all of them front County Road 147, so there won't be any internal roads built. Kathy, everything good to go on this one?
Everything's good.
All the engineers have bought off on it and we're good. I'd make the motion that we approve the final plat for the Kirkpatrick Acres.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve Kirkpatrick Acres, a second from Commissioner Hollowell, second Commissioner Snuggs. What size lots are those, do you know?
I think they're a little over 1 acre.
A little over 1 acre. 5.9 acres total.
Those are, I'm sorry, Kathy.
They're a little over 1 acre.
Okay,
The issue there is gonna be, it's gonna be built basically on the side of a hill. I'm gonna have to deal with some drainage issues. They're gonna have to, and if they reach back out to you, they need to touch base with before they do the culvert installations, and we will clear that fence row if they'll agree to move it back 30 foot and establish that ditch, because we're gonna have water issues running to the north. She was in today, but I missed her.
also, I had a question on, so we don't run into a problem here, it's not close to a public water source, or what about waste removal, and are these septic
all these lots should be on septic, because there's no, no sewer available out there.
Okay,
Or, there is at Oak Ridge, but it doesn't get that close.
okay,
All of these subdivisions, Judge, are double engineered and
Yeah.
kicked back and forth for months before they come for final approval.
okay, good enough then. We have a motion and a second on item number 12. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Motion passes. Motion passes 5-0. Item number 13, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of final plat for Clayton Acres, a 4-lot proposed subdivision in Precinct 1.
This is the same thing, it's off of 167, they all front 167. Will be no interior road construction, all we have to do is deal with driveway culverts. Everything good on that one?
Yes.
Okay. These are all just under 2 acres, Judge.
Okay,
Narrow.
Yeah. And, yeah,
Very narrow.
I'd make the motion, we approve.
okay, so we have a motion, Commissioner Hollowell, to approve item 13.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Snubs. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item 13 passes 5-0. Item number 14, deliberate and consider possible action regarding approving a billing letter of agreement between the Tarrant County College District Criminal Justice Training Center and the Cooke County Sheriff's Office, and authorize the Cooke County Sheriff to sign the agreement. Is the,
I put this on there for us.
oh, okay.
This allows us to pay with a check and a PO and not have them pay when they get through the door.
Okay. Then I'll make the motion that we pass item number 14. Second, Commissioner Sicking. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Item number 14 passes 5-0. Item number 15, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the requested price increase from Refinery Road Veterinary Clinic beginning June 24th, 2024. Their last price increase was approved January 2023. What do we know about?
That's what we talked about earlier.
Yes, I know, but do we know what was the price increase?
Looks like $1 or $2, Judge,
Yeah.
looking at the packet.
The old one is behind the new one.
Okay.
Looks like $1 a night for small stuff.
What I was curious about was what rabies vaccinations are we paying for? I didn't understand that one.
What vaccinations were?
Rabies vaccinations have been added, will be $22. I was just curious as to what animals that the county had needed vaccinating. I'm sure it probably has to do with, well, I'm not sure what it has to do with.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that one.
But it's one of those deals, it's a service they provide, I don't know that we have a whole lot of choices. And even though they've added it at $22 per vaccination, I can't imagine us utilizing it very often or having a need
Or
to have
or
it.
at all.
It looks like it's only rabies vaccination.
I know, but other than our canine out at the sheriff's office, I don't know what we would, you know.
Well, Well, maybe when they get one in and it's impounded, they'll give it a rabies vaccination for
But see,
$22.
doesn't all that go to Noah's Ark? They don't do intake for strays and stuff.
They don't have, there's not an agreement with Noah's Ark, is there, in any way for homeless animals?
Yes.
Would that-
They're in the budget, but see, this would be, you think maybe Noah's Ark would take them to refinery for vaccination? I don't know.
That was what I was
Yeah,
somewhat thinking, but I really don't know the answer to that one.
And I don't know.
It seemed like this would be the impound for the large animals. I didn't know they did anything with the small animals, but
Oh, what happens is when you get a dog bite, I think they take them straight to
Okay.
the vet and house them. That's
okay,
what
they don't go
do.
to Noah's Ark for that. Okay, I make a motion, we approve their
Yeah.
price increases.
Okay, I think they also impound small animals if, I know there's been some JP cases where they've had to impound animals pending.
But you wouldn't think we'd pay for those rabies vaccinations, you
No.
know, because that would be the individual.
Think so.
Anyway, second that motion.
Okay, Commissioner Snuggs made the motion to pass that, second Commissioner Hollowell. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item 15 passes 5-0. Item number 16, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of the TAC 2024-2025 renewal notice and benefit confirmation.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
So what I've handed you are different options regarding the insurance renewal. There are 3 different plans that the insurance company gave us to look at. One is the current plan that we have, and then there's 2 additional plans. Some other options are not funding the healthcare account fully and maybe funding it at $1,000 or $1,500. So the renewal is due by this Friday, back to TAC.
Any big surprises in there?
I mean, the medical increased by 9.9%, dental increased by 3.5%. So the estimated cost for the year to cover that increase is $300,000 if you stay with the same plan with no changes.
Are you gonna mention this in your budget? Or does it apply at all?
Well, I mean, if you don't want to make a decision right now, we can talk about it during budget, but I do have to have a decision by
28th?
the 28th for the renewal to be turned in.
Across the board, have there been increases like this across, other insurances? Do you have any feel for that?
I mean, I don't know. I know we have one of the higher renewal rates for TAC. I do know that.
And it increased the same amount last for this year.
That's correct, yes. It also increased that last year.
Say that last part again?
The increase for next year was the increase for this current year.
Okay.
Questions? You're just looking for a yay or nay renewal, or,
Yes, either we're going to renew as is, or we would like to
or what?
make a change to the plan before renewing.
I'm not sure we'd know what to change though, would we?
Well, there's some options there.
Elizabeth, on
Yes.
option 2, where it says keep the current plan, what's the account funding to, what's that mean, account funding to 1,500 annually?
So that would be if the county chose to fund the healthcare account at 1,500, the employee would pay the first 500, and the county would pick up
Okay.
the other 1,500
Okay,
of the deductible.
and that saves 71.5,
Yes.
okay.
Through March of this year, we've spent 59% of the deductible. That's budgeted.
Which ties into her numbers up there at the top where she says 59 employees have used HCA and 84 is used.
You don't have it, but yes.
Yeah, that's what that's the total for all that.
Right.
You know, what would really be interesting, I hear rumors that we're gonna get some requests for some 6% pay increases. I'd be curious as to what the employees' thoughts are on whether we ought to fund 6% pay increases, fund insurance, or, or our retirement plan, for instance. What would they really prefer that we fund? Give them a big old raise and cut our contribution to retirement, or give them a big old raise and let them pay their own insurance? They need to understand these are pretty tough decisions. And most of us sitting here know that we're not bringing in enough money annually right now to pay our bills.
Well, I know the answer to your question, but it'll be up to us to decide how we're
Oh,
gonna do
but I
it.
don't know what I think I know what my answer would be. We want it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean,
You
that's
know,
what they
it's-
want.
Whenever, a lot of people, when they don't think about the whole, pay package,
Yeah.
most people are only looking at what they bring home
I
in
mean,
their check every week.
It's sad, but at some point in time, if they don't think they've got the job that suits their needs and meets their needs, and it's not adequate, they got to hunt a job. I mean, we're a pretty good place to work for. I mean,
Is this do we need to make this decision right now, or can it be made after we go through the budget? Okay.
I mean, these are actually good numbers. I mean,
Yeah.
I appreciate this, and at least now I can look at it and say, this is, if we make this choice, this is what it costs, or this is what it saves.
And they're all estimated numbers because there's the ebb and flow of employees and what they use, but they're pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah, so, I mean, and personally, I mean, I would like to give it all to them.
Me too.
But call me a pessimist, but I still say 4 or 5 years down the road, if we don't control our spending, we know our revenues are limited. The legislators set it at 3.5%, and last year we actually got a 1% increase out of it. And we know we're getting growth because, talking to Doug Smith, and if I understand it correctly, we had about $200 billion in new bills, and that sounds like a whole lot of money. You divide that by 100, and now you're down to 200 million. You multiply that times our tax rate, and it generates somewhere less than $700,000 a year. So we're still backing up. Do what, Bubba?
14 new builds that were $500,000 to $600,000 houses all got torn down by the tornado before they got closed.
But plus the loss off the rolls for what happened at Valley View.
Yeah, that'll all come off the roll.
So,
Well, one thing I'd like to say is, as we're going through this discussion here, they that we're talking about are us,
Right.
okay? We are not looking at our employees as them. So what we're looking at is what is best for all of us, not them, okay?
Okay. I don't,
No,
this is,
I don't wanna, we need to make the decision when we make it for the whole budget and the whole raises and everything, put it all into one big decision.
and I get it, but it's, we got some challenges during this budget cycle, and I don't know that, you know, if you got $10,000 in revenues and over the years you managed to save 20, well, you spend 15,000 on budget this year, then 4 years down the road, your 20,000 is consumed, and I understand the county can't go broke, but we will be limited to revenues. So it's not a pleasant conversation, but it's certainly something that we need to be considering. And we need to get out in front of that and know where we are. Looks like we're going to lose less money or be required to spend less money out of the fund balance than what we thought, because interest rates increased some, but we're still looking at probably 3-4 million out of fund balance if we fund the budget, and that's before we get all these increases. And this is a big one, so.
No action?
At this point, I mean,
What happens if we don't meet this 28th deadline here?
I don't have the answer to that. I mean, I know we'll have budget hearings this week, and I don't know if you'll have to do a special court to have it, to make a decision before Friday, or if you can make it based on the end of the budget hearings, if there's an item on there to take action on any budget items.
our last day supposedly is Wednesday, so we don't have time for 72-hour notice or whatever it is for. Unless we do it, can we do it as a budget item? It really needs to be spelled out, doesn't it, Shelley?
When did you bring this to them the first time?
The last,
Last quarter?
yeah,
Yeah, the only difference this court and last court is.
that's true.
we
I didn't have all the
some-
numbers there.
you know. I mean, I think one way we retain good employees is through good benefits, but I don't think that we just can do that and continue to bump salaries 5% and 6% and 7%. And provide them long-term job security.
So we have, what, 240 something employees?
About 270.
270? So if you took 300,000 increase, divided by 270, it's about $1,100 extra a year per employee.
No,
Yeah.
effective, no, 1,100 extra a year? Yeah.
To
Yeah,
increase it
because it's
300.
1,100 over 12, it's 100 a month more, basically, over 12. Yeah, that's pretty close.
I'll have to have a calculator.
Yeah, pretty close.
I did it.
Yeah, pretty
So-
close, I think.
I mean, I think if for employee retention, and that's part of their, we'll have to say that's part of your increase in pay. And figure that in there. And, or we can go the other way and it's gonna cost you $500
Out of your pocket to go
out
pay
of
it.
your pocket. Well, some of those that don't use it, they're gonna say, good with me, but those that use it are gonna go, so it's kind of a balance. So the number that I see that have used it is 59 employees have used all of it. So that's probably what? 40%, 30%?
It looks like 59 and 84 have used.
59 employees have used all of it.
Have used all of
And
it.
84 have used between 1,000 up to the 2,000, but not quite hit the 2,000.
But it's
29
going up.
have never went to the doctor or done nothing.
Correct.
Now, if that number was flipped, it would be a lot better, but I'm one of those that, I'm probably up in that top number. I've had a lot of stuff going on lately.
Oh, and you put less burden on them if we're taking care of them there for the unanticipated, where if you go and you give them the money and they don't anticipate and they don't set it
Right.
aside, then they got a huge burden on them.
And I think our employees would see that, hey, it increased here, but we're gonna do that. But on the other side, we can't give the higher percentage of raises because you're getting it, but you're not getting it.
Well, it cost the county, what, 51 and about $94, $5 a month to keep their insurance where it is.
Right. And it's an employee rate is $1,043 a month. I mean, I couldn't pay that, but we give that
That's a benefit. Yeah.
benefit for that, and that's kind of part of it isn't your salary, we're taking care of that. So I think, just talking to some of the employees that I've talked to about it, they would rather have the insurance and that's why they're still here.
And see, they don't take into consideration what we put aside every year for retirement for them to
Right.
keep it propped up.
I know we can't compete with the Metroplex, but I think our insurance plan and our retirement plan probably, I mean, I've had several people tell me that have looked at mine and, hey, this is the best insurance I've ever seen. And I hear that. Even when I go to the doctor, they're like, oh, you got this? I said, I don't think so. And then they'll come back and tell me, oh, yeah, that's covered. So, I mean, back in the old days, you didn't get that, or I didn't get that. So,
I agree.
Well, and they can go out and do some job shopping and find out another employer's not gonna do that either.
oh, absolutely.
You know, and during COVID, we took really good care of them whenever county employees were off paid and other companies was not off paid.
Right.
So, I mean,
So I think option one would be the way to go, because we know we're not gonna give all those 6% raise. I mean, we can't.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, that's-
I'd make a motion, we leave it as it is, even, well, based on this, not because part of the budget, but, or is this too soon?
Option one.
Yeah, go with
It'll
option.
help her get the salaries spreadsheet done so I can put it in the budget so you can see where you're at.
I'll second option one.
Assuming we do what we said we're gonna do and not go add 6% raises and stuff on top of it.
Well, right, I'm just talking about this.
Yeah. And we know we're doing that consciously, in an attempt to look out for the employees.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have a motion. Commissioner, which one of you?
I think I motioned that, I'm seconded.
Okay,
Makes no
we have a
difference.
motion, Commissioner Hollowell, to go with option one with the insurance. Second, Commissioner Arndt. I'm going to abstain on this one here.
No,
I don't think you have to, Judge. There's no
I think
reason.
I should.
You're the chief budget
I don't
officer.
agree with that.
I
There's
know,
no-
but since I don't have the insurance.
But it's not a
But you have no
conflict of
conflict.
interest. There's no conflict of interest, Judge.
I mean,
Can we make
That's
that
up to y'all.
motion to keep the current plan as is? Because
that how
option
you
one
need-
is a separate insurance plan and the renewal.
okay.
You're going with my option one, but it needs to say to keep the same to keep the current plan.
I mean,
Renew plan with no changes. Is that option one on here?
Yes.
Is that what we're?
Yeah, the
That's right.
current plan with no changes
oh, but
would
they'd
be
have to,
my
I know
option
what
one.
we said later on, they'd have to be looking at option one too, if it wasn't in the minutes.
So new plan with no changes.
Yes. That'd be my motion.
Okay.
It's,
What, hang on.
what did you say, new plan or renew?
Renew.
Renew.
Yeah, renew plan, yeah.
Okay,
With no changes.
then I will vote on it. That's up to y'all, guys.
Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, you have no conflict, Judge, you're good.
All right. We have a motion, Commissioner Hollowell, a second, Commissioner Arndt, to go with option one, which is to renew the plan with no changes. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Option one on item 16 passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Okay, that's. Where's that budget?
You mark that off your to-do list?
Well, no, I'm just moving it over to the budget.
Moving it over. Okay, item 17, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the Child Welfare Board and replacing Kathy Paxton and Laura Gilbreth with Jennifer Ware and Taylor Smith, as well as appointing Katie Heffron, Alicia Dietz, Marcia Weaver, Twyla Molesby, and Nicolette Medlock. I'll hear what anyone has to say on, basically it's replacing the whole board with the exception of, who did we say? Kathy Patterson, who will stick around long enough to make sure everyone knows what the board's about, up to speed.
I don't remember ever doing this one.
Because
It hadn't had any movement.
they,
Well,
Yes,
it's gotten
that-
down to where there's not.
they, yeah.
And this is what the board's bringing at us, and we just have to sign off on it for
Exactly.
a formality.
Yeah.
I mean, once upon a time, they came for monies, and we haven't seen them at budget time, I don't think, in a while. But,
Yeah, this is something I don't remember ever seeing since I've been here.
yeah,
You know,
they've been
I know all
existence.
these appointees, and they're all good people.
It seems like the only time the child welfare got involved was in a custody case or something like that was in years past. I don't know that they have a presence on a routine basis.
They used to ask us for monies for clothing and hygiene and stuff of that nature. And then they got to where they got to where they started asking us for money to drug test the parents.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know why that becomes the county taxpayer's responsibility to drug test the parents for when a state organization was dictating. That's what they did, didn't they, Shelley? Yeah,
But then the state CPS office started taking it out.
yeah. And so these folks, they've been inactive was the word I was trying to come up with a few minutes ago, I think, or at least with the court's involvement.
Well, I mean, if it's just a, formality that we need to approve, I'll make the motion that we approve it.
We have a motion, Commissioner Snuggs. I'll second that motion. Item number 17, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item 17 passes 5-0. Item number 18, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of the contract for broadband services with Nortex awarded from the broadband RFP. Mr. Hollowell, do you want to speak to that, or?
Shelley's been hustling up
Shelley.
on that, but I think the bottom line, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, it's been sent back and forth between the attorneys for Nortex and our attorneys. It's been redlined, and anyway, both parties have agreed to it to the best of my knowledge. Shelley's read over it, I've glanced at it. The key things that I wanted to be sure was in there is our expenditure would not exceed 1.3 million. And then I had to reach out to Shelley because I was looking to see where Moss Lake was excluded, and she shared that with me, and I found it later. But Moss Lake's not part of this proposal. In other words, the contract matches what we talked about to the best of my knowledge.
And these funds will be ARPA funds.
ARPA for $1.3 million out of.
And these ARPA funds that we thought were gone became available.
Because
Something else changed someplace else.
whenever the program ended, we could no longer pay that premium pay out of salaries. And so this went back into the general fund budget, correct, Shelley, if I'm wrong? And then we I'm sorry, we started paying the salaries out of general fund, so this became available to ARPA.
Okay. Yeah. There was some public talk that we didn't have the funding, and that's why I kept kicking the can for the broadband, because there wasn't any money for it, and then all of a sudden we had the ARPA money, so we charged forward again on it, and had multiple people reach out to me and say, I thought there wasn't any funding. I said, well, that was what I thought too. So some funding came available to us, so that's when we charged forward on it. So it's a good deal. We'll get some broadband to more people. I'll make the motion to approve the contractor, and you can have that honor since you worked it real hard.
No, I'm good.
Motion. What do you got, Judge?
Wasn't it also Nortex was either the only one that bid on this, or?
At this point, they were.
Okay.
Well, they
Second
were,
time.
The
yeah,
second.
the second
Second
time,
time,
they were the
okay.
only one that bid, and actually, they took on more of the cost than they originally planned, because they accepted what we had remaining, or real close to what we had remaining in ARPA funds to make this happen. So they actually turned out to be really good partners in this.
Okay.
I'll make the motion, we approve the contract.
Item number 18, Commissioner Snuggs makes the motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Second. Commissioner Sicking. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Item 18 passes 5-0. Item number 19, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the road use and maintenance agreement between Cooke County and Compadre Solar LLC. Commissioner Art?
This is the solar system that's coming in on the southern part of the county. We've been working back and forth pretty diligently. We've come to a very good agreement, I believe. Trying to get to it because it's not on my deal here, but I have read it. But
Is this the second solar one?
this is the first one down there.
The first one?
Yeah.
Down there, okay.
Yeah. So we've went in and talked about one road that it's going to be limited access, which would be County Road 346, and because we're going to do some work on that road this summer, is the plan. And we didn't want to have controversy with trucks and stuff, so they agreed to come in on the lower end of 329 until we get that done, and then they can come in and access. They've done some of the road bores already on 329, which we approved in the previous court. They've also talked to us about putting some money into County Road 329 for chip sealing after the project's done, which is around $150,000 that they're saying that they want to help us with. And it will help them also with the dust, but I think it'll help our community out there with the dust and having a nice road around there. And I think if Dion's here, do you want to say something, Dion? Sure. Dion's the project manager, I believe, of the operation.
Hey, Judge, Commissioners. Nice to meet y'all. I'm Dion. I am the developer with Xterra Energy. I'm the main point of contact for the Compadre Solar project. This project is planned to be complete in December of 2025. We're going to start mobilizing mid next month. So it's going to be all on the Compadre cattle land, which is signed with Mexico Jr. But yeah, as Commissioner mentioned, we're going to limit. I think the main concern there is that the chip seal project is going to be happening, and we don't want to have any traffic through there, no interference. We're going to limit our traffic during that time to the southern part of the project. And then we're going to do a pre-construction survey to make sure we have an understanding of what the conditions of the roads are before we mobilize. And then after the project, we'll do a post-construction survey just to make sure that the conditions of the roads are as good, if not better, than after the project is complete. And also, as Commissioner Aaron mentioned, we will be providing $150,000 to chip seal the entire County Road 329 after the project as well. But yes, if there's any questions or concerns about the project, I'll be your main point of contact. And then once the project is fully mobilized, there will be a construction project manager as well, which I will introduce to the Corps as well. So, any questions, concerns?
Don't have any questions?
I know.
You know, they've been very good to work with. Okay, it's taken a while, but we've got there, I believe, haven't we, Dion?
Yeah.
And I'm just saying this because of the last one that I got involved in, or got handed in. It was a lot on that one. This one's pretty tight. It's a couple roads, so that's gonna help a lot too with it. But I just want the people to know out there that we're gonna be working diligently to keep the roads open, and that was our agreement too, is we're not gonna, you know, for ambulance, medical services, and people getting in and out, school buses, and they've agreed to all of that, so. I make the motion to approve the road agreement, road use and maintenance agreement between Cooke County and Compadre.
I second that, but I have a question. Shelley, when they do a road use agreement like this and it's incorporated into the road use agreement, do we still have to do a accept donation?
I think we should,
Yeah, when it gets close,
yes.
yeah.
So there's a form I talked to you about. It's a
Yep.
road contribution agreement.
Sure. I remember you mentioned that, yes.
And then we'll have to approve that in court, but we'll get that as we get closer to do that.
Okay, and I think per the agreement, we had said after execution of the agreement, we'll provide the funding within 60 days. So I guess that form needs to be completed before then, right?
See, I was wondering, just because it's in this contract, this road use agreement, if we still had to do it.
Well, I'm not gonna commit to it until I get, weather, so it might be that it might be next summer before we get it done.
And I always do that agreement as to be determined, but based
Yes.
on weather or storms or anything
Yes.
like that, so.
But it will, that money sets aside, it cannot be used for nothing but that project.
Right.
It might, just depending on weather, just like the tornado we had, that's put us behind
Yep.
2 months, and the projects I have lined up to do, we're gonna try to get done.
Yeah.
But as you get into the winter time, you don't wanna do that chip sealing, because it won't hold. So it might be next June before we can get in there and get it done.
Understood.
But you'll be up and operational maybe in next
Well,
July?
I think, so the construction should be complete near, I think around third quarter next year. And then we'll be fully operational end of next year.
So we'll have it on plan to do for next summer.
Yeah, okay.
My
It's
plan.
nice to rock it in the winter
Yes.
and let it pack, and then
Yes.
and then come
Because
back
we
and
need
chip
to
seal in
put
the
some-
summer.
Yeah, we need to put some culverts in a few areas that we're having some problem issues. We've had the culverts ordered and ready for that. They got moved to another project.
Yeah.
And we want to get those done and get them settled, and then we'll come back in. But,
Understood, yeah. So I'll get with the construction project manager, we'll link up and just make sure the timing works for everyone. So,
These same kind of agreements done for the wind towers when they did those?
Yeah,
I
they're
wasn't there.
they're a lot different because there's so much more right-of-way
Dangerous.
easement. They're using just 18-wheel trucks that are like we use for gravel trucks.
Okay.
Is the heaviest thing. Now, they do have one big deal, but it's up on 51, does not affect us.
yeah.
So where their big module.
GSU, yeah, that's off of, that's gonna be delivered right off of 51, as you mentioned, where the Encore switchyard is,
Yeah.
so.
And that's through the state, their deal with they do a road use agreement through the state on 51. It won't come on our county roads.
And they don't have the length to deal with, so that make
Right.
the intersections
They
bigger
don't
and
have to
stuff
cut
of
the
that nature.
corners and all that. They're the same length as our gravel trucks, basically.
And one thing I'd like to say for the public, I know that with any project like this, we get some negative feedback, oh, we should stop this project, we shouldn't allow it, but that's not up to us to decide, and luckily this company is willing to work with us and do
Right.
these things that keeps the impact to a minimum on our roads, so.
We could say that we're not gonna do this road use agreement and deny it, y'all can still come.
Yeah.
So
So it's good that the company's
these
working
are-
with us.
These contracts are good between working with us and you, and that way everybody knows where everybody's at. So
Yep, agreed.
we appreciate, you've been very good to work with, and I've been a little slow on some stuff because of just a lot of stuff. but
I understand
it's
completely.
been- I tried to get back to you as quick as I could,
No.
so.
You always pick up my call, so I appreciate it.
All right, Dion,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, well, we have a motion, Commissioner Arndt, on item 19, the second, Commissioner Hollowell. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item 19 passes 5-0. Item number 20, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of a contract with Strategic Technology Partners for 8 Xerox copiers for the county judge, district judge, county court at law judge, compliance, EMS, and the jail at a cost of $1,022.47 a month for 60 months. Shelley, is that, you want to speak to that one?
All of those copiers have been out of, on an expired contract since like '22. And so we've been meeting with Xerox representatives in Munster, and they put this together. It also helps with our GASB 87, 85, I forget what it is, where we have to account for all of our leases. So if we can get one, that's counted as one lease instead of 8, then it helps recording that. But these are all past their current, they're all expired, and so they all need to have new copiers installed. And also, I think it's, if you add up the differences between what we're paying on 8 individual contracts, I think we're getting a better deal with one contract.
Looked like it was considerable savings.
Yeah.
I'd move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, Commissioner Hollowell, second, Commissioner Arndt. All in favor?
And I'm sure the numbers have been turned. We're not better off.
Well, they're sharing copies, so, you know, if one office, in the past, if one office has gone over their allowable copy limit, then they have to pay. Well, we're all sharing now, and so hopefully, other than if the color copies that are made, we won't be paying a lot for copies.
Should even out.
Yeah,
And we're not paying interest.
I'm sure we are, but I'll
It just
Not-
seems,
yeah.
you know, it's $60,000 over that time. That's the way I was looking at it, you know. Are we not better off buying them? But then I guess you get into a maintenance thing.
See, I
where-
tried that, and I hate to lease them, but it depends on how you do it. If they turn around and hit you on their services and make up
I
the
know, that's-
difference, you would think you could buy them and get somebody to service and save money.
well, and then the technology changes, and
It's obsolete.
right. And then the other thing is that we're going with, so we could get it off of the state contractor off of TIPS, which is the East Texas School Co-op, Purchasing Co-op, and we're going to do the service locally with the Metzlers, instead of having to call corporate Xerox and trying to get help. So that's another benefit, that the local,
Economy.
But I'm sure at the end of the day, if you buy these outright, these 8 machines are probably 6,000 to 8,000 a piece. I mean, it
Yeah.
adds up to over 60,000 at that point too, with no maintenance.
right. Then you have an individual maintenance agreement for each one,
Yeah,
where this is included, all the supplies are included, and the services included.
yeah. I mean, I'm just talking through it.
I know.
But that's good to do, because I think we're gonna save some money here.
Yeah, the price is definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Well, you got a motion in a second, so.
We got a motion and a second. Let me ask for the vote again. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item number 20 passes 5-0. Item number 21, deliberate and consider possible action regarding various grant funds.
I finally got the approval for Precinct 4's last road. I had a typo on the project list, and so they had to recertify, reapprove the road. I finally got it to balance last night, so I'm hoping to get it uploaded today before budget starts.
Thank you. So item number 21 is no action. Item number 22, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of the county attorney to enforce county subdivision regulations and county ordinances through civil litigation and/or criminal prosecution.
I'm Ed Zielinski, I'm the county attorney. As we're developing the county and subdivisions are rising, there are going to be questions about whether or not people have to abide by certain portions of the subdivision regulations. I think each of you has had a question about that in the past. The local government code requires that the commissioner's court give me the authority to file any action in a court of competent jurisdiction. So it could be injunctive relief, asking them to cease and desist, asking a court to order them to stop, or it could be criminal relief in the form of violations. It could be Class B misdemeanors. Some higher misdemeanors might be in place for different activities. So what I'm asking you to do is give me the authority to follow up on these subdivision violations and have that ability to go to civil or criminal court.
What would be the outcome of a civil litigation?
Civil litigation would be a order from a civil court that says they have to stop what they're doing, reimburse us for expenses that we've incurred in handling that misconduct. In the criminal court, it could be a fine and going to jail.
Okay, this is civil though, is what we're talking about.
No, we're talking about both. We're talking about
Both.
civil and criminal.
Okay.
Because I've got to have the ability to express to that subdivision person or persons or corporate entity that they're in violation of our regulation, and the consequence of the violation could be enforcement within the civil or criminal courts.
That doesn't keep us from going out seeking Allison Bass or anybody like that.
Well, they can't come here and
because they're
do
not
that.
going to come here. This is a prosecuting
Yeah,
of
this
through
is,
courts.
it can be the county attorney or other prosecuting attorney. It can't be any outside
Yeah, but
counsel.
as far as just advice on subdivisions and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about two different things. You know, the production level of the subdivision regulation goes outside of us, but the enforcement portion comes to us, and we have to have the ability to enforce that locally.
And it's strange that the government code says we have to appoint you or allow you because they by
Well,
default.
I'll tell you why they do that is because the subdivision regulation is an animal created by the commissioner's court. So you're asking that you use a prosecutor to enforce what you've already put in place. That's why it's there.
I'm assuming that this also means that would be your office then that would keep us in avoidance of any inadvertent mistake on
Yes, sir.
any of these, okay?
Yeah,
I guess it could work both
Right, we
ways.
cannot, obviously, I don't bring anything against the commissioner's court,
Right,
but
right.
it's my obligation to keep you apprised of where these violations appear and what we need to do to rectify them.
Move to approve.
Motion, Commissioner Hollowell to approve. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item number 22 passes 5-0. And then item number 23 is going to be executive session in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Government Code, Vernon's, Texas Codes, annotated consultation with our attorney regarding proposed actions, real property, contract, any personnel matters. So if I could ask that the court be cleared, other than anybody need to stay here, that Ed, anybody need to stay convene at 11:24. Item number 24, deliberate and consider possible action regarding consultation with attorney regarding proposed actions and advice to the court, real property contract being negotiated or any personnel matters, and we didn't come up with anything that
No,
required
we
any
have to make a
action.
motion to appoint the county attorney.
Do what now?
We have to, I think we have to actually have to go do the approval for the county attorney to enforce subdivision guidelines.
Do we need to do that? No, I mean,
We did it on the,
You gotta do it, what?
we did it before, we did it before, we did an executive.
You can't take an action in executive, guys.
be an
We already did
executive.
it before we went into executive.
Was that before executive?
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
pardon me.
Okay, so item number 24 is,
Okay,
what did you say, Jason?
having a senior moment.
None? Okay, item number 24 did not result in any action to be taken. Item number 25,
Motion.
motion, Commissioner Snubs. Do I hear a second? Second, Commissioner Arndt.
Are we coming back today? So we're just gonna go on a recess?
Here's what we need to do.
I think it's a whole new agenda.
Do what?
A whole nother deal?
I'm sorry, we're just talking between us.
Yeah,
Oh, it is? Okay.
we're gonna start all over again instead of taking a break. We're
Okay.
gonna, yeah. So item number 25 is, passes 5-0. We are adjourned at 11:26.
1:30, guys, according to